Hello, let's solve Leetcode's problem. Three consecutive odds. So we're given an integer array and we want to return true if there are three consecutive odd numbers in the array, and if not, then return false. So let's look at this example. We have 1, 3, 5, 4, and 2. So is 1 an odd number? 1 is an odd number. And 3 an odd number. 3 is an odd number. And 5 is also an odd number. Is 1 an odd number? 1 is an odd number. Is 3 an odd number? 3 is an odd number. And 5, is it an odd number? It is. So for this example, we will return true because these three these three numbers are consecutive and they are odd, so we don't have to look at the rest of the numbers because these three are already consecutive. Now, now let's look at this example. Is one is an odd number, 7 is an odd number, but four is not an odd number. 4 is even. So we can't continue what we have. So far we have two odd numbers, but because the next one is an even number, so we can't consider the previous array anymore. So let's continue. 1 is an odd number, 3 is an odd number, but 6 is even. So even though 1 and 3 is odd, and but because six is an even number, so we can consider the the array to return true even if the next number is odd, because 6 interferes with with our current array. More specifically, now we have 1 and we had 1 and 3, but because we also had 6, so these numbers are no longer consecutive. 1, 3, and 1 are no longer consecutive. And lastly, 1. So, so we have two odd consecutive numbers so far, but because this is the end of the array, so we have to return false. So the idea for this problem is pretty simple. We just need to keep track of how many consecutive odd numbers that we've seen so far. So I'm gonna call it count. It's gonna keep track of the odd numbers that consecutive that we see that we're currently at. So let's look at this example again, but this one I'm gonna add a story to it. So 1 is an odd number, so we will increment it by 1. So far we've seen one odd consecutive number. Now 7. 7 is odd, so we'll increment this by 1, we'll get 2. And like, but I'll just fast forward to at this point. At this point, we knew that there's gonna be 2 odd consecutive number at this point. But now we see a 3. So we will increment this by 1 and we'll get a 3. And because this satisfies the condition, which is 3 consecutive odd numbers, so we can return true. Now let's jump to the code. So I'll declare a variable and I'll set it to 0. And for every number in the array, we'll check if it's if it is odd, so then we'll increment it by 1. But if but if it's even, then we'll have to set it back to 0 because because e- even if the next number could be odd, but because we have an even number at that point, so it doesn't count as consecutive anymore. And now we want to check because perhaps at some point the count may reach 3, and if that's the case, then we'll return true. But if we escape this loop and we never see, but it never returns true, which means that there are no 3 consecutive numbers in the array, so at this point we could return false, or you could say that the count is no longer 3. The count is not 3 because at most it could only be 2. So yeah, our solution works and it's pretty efficient. The time complexity for this is O of n because we had to loop through the array once, and the space is constant because we didn't use any extra data structures. So that is it. I'll see you later. I'll see you guys later next time. Bye.